Okay, great. I think most everyone who's at their screen has renamed themselves, but if you haven't got a chance to, we just want to know your name and your club. If you could add that in. And see, we have most everyone on camera today. We just love to see your smiling faces, but we know sometimes the internet bandwidth is not great. So, if it's making things freeze up for you, do what you got to do. And we do ask that everyone who's not speaking go on mute, just so there's no interruptions for our session today. But we're really so happy that you're here. I know we had a great turnout last night, and I appreciate that Pamela and Lisa planned this to have evenings and then daytime options so that they're accessible for everyone. So just glad you're taking advantage of this nice lunchtime session. If you have questions during the presentation, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll get to them later on. And when we open up for questions, feel free to use the raise hand button in order to indicate you'd like to contribute to the conversation. I'm very proud to introduce your incoming district leaders. We have your district governor-elect for District 7120, Lisa Norwood, and your president-elect, your CNY Rotary president-elect, Pamela. So I'm going to turn it over to them and just ask everyone, make sure you have on your calendars March 14th and 15th in Syracuse for the in-person weekend. And so glad you're here to kick it off virtually today.
Great. Thanks so much, Lizzie. I'm excited to be here. Hopefully you all know that this year we're trying to change things up a little bit. In the past, President-elect Learning Seminar was 4 weeks in February, and then we have an in-person session in March in Syracuse. And I know that when I was president-elect showing up at Syracuse, I felt like I was drinking out of a hose. So one of the things that we wanted to try this year is to spread the training out over, the 6 to 9 months leading up to in-person PELS in March. To give all of you an opportunity to learn and to process what we're saying, and also develop some, cross-club collaborations. So this is our first session, and we're looking for lots of feedback, lots of input. And we're a team, we're the class of 2027 by the time, we finish our presidential or district governor year. So we're a team that's working together and learning together. So I'm Lisa Norwood from the Rotary Club of Rochester Southwest. I've been a Rotarian since 2016, and Rochester Southwest is my second Rotary Club. I spent 16 years with the Rochester Rotary Club downtown. Pamela is my counterpart in Central New York. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Pamela Baker Grattan. I am a proud Rotarian 10 years now. And I'm in the Auburn Club, and I'm really excited to follow Lizzie and Bob, and Sam's behind me. We just have a wonderful team that's here to support you. And really what Lisa and I talked about was our vision is it's about the clubs, and we want to make sure that, we're here for you. Because without you, obviously, we don't exist. And it's really important to listen to you and make sure that, it's a two-way conversation, and we're just here for you. And it's so nice to meet everybody and see people's, faces for the first time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pamela. So for today's session, we're going to basically be talking about, how to begin to lead. And we've invited 3 panelists to join us, all of whom have been past presidents of their clubs in some capacity or another. We have Leslie Vecchiotti, Lisa Jackson, and hold on a second, I just froze up. There we go. And Janet Walker. So what I'd like to do is have each of them introduce themselves, and then I've got a series of questions I want to ask, but I want to encourage each of you, let each of you know that this is supposed to be a interactive session. So if you think of things or have questions or don't understand what's being said, please raise your hand, or if you're shy, put it in the chat and we'll try to address all those. So let's start with Lisa Jackson. Introduce yourself. What's your role, and why are you here today?
Good morning. Lisa Jackson. I'm a member of the Schenectady Rotary Club. I've been a member since 2017. I was president of my club 23-24, and I'm currently an area rep.
Perfect. Thank you. Leslie Vecchiotti. you're up next.
Yes, thank you. Hi. That is my name, and I am a proud member of the Palmyra-Macedon Rotary Club for 17 years now. Can't believe it's been that long. And I am currently in my second term as president. I was president in 1819. And I am again president this year. I'm also district secretary for 7120.
Thank you very much. And then Janet is also a repeat club president. So feel free to introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, hi. I've been a Rotarian since 2010. I used to live out in Niagara County, New York. So I was a member of Lockport Rotary in 7090. 3 years ago, a career change. My husband and I moved to Henrietta. So I wanted to get to know the community we now live in. So I transferred Rotary clubs and they quickly made me president. So not new to Rotary, just new to 7120 and Rush Henrietta, because I've been here 3 years. So I'm actually in my second consecutive term as president, possibly in counting. So we'll see what happens with that. And actually things are going really well thanks to groups like this and the collaboration. So we're going to have fun here today.
Perfect. Great. Thank you very much. So I want to have this question I want to ask each of the three of you. Looking back on your first year as club president, what was the most important action that you took during your first 90 days as club president? Leslie? You're muted.
Thank you. I wasn't really thinking about my first term. I was thinking about this one because I don't remember 6 years ago what I did in my first 3 months. I think, to be honest with you, I think I was just trying to have fun and make relationships and, you know, really kind of solidify those relationships and hopefully build my credibility as a club leader. I tried to really engage the club in club meetings, whether it was through activities that we did or having conversations, not just me talking at the group, delivering a bunch of announcements or events that were coming up, things like that. I'm a former teacher. I was a teacher for 34 years. And so that idea of wanting to keep everybody engaged and talking and interacting was really important to me.
Perfect. Lisa, what are your thoughts on that question?
So I actually really spent most of my time prepping for my year in the months ahead of that first 90 days. So when I started my actual term as president, I was really running forward to work on committee empowerment and making sure that our committees understood what their role was in the club and where their decision-making powers lied. Because I feel like, especially in my club, it seemed a lot like somebody had an idea and it would go to a committee, and then the committee didn't know if they could move forward with it, or if it had to go to the president, if it had to go to the board. So really kind of laying out those guidelines so everyone could keep everything moving forward. Like that was my whole goal. Like, you have an idea, let's get things implemented, let's move, and helping people understood that they were trusted to do the jobs that they were in. That and really showing up to the meetings well prepared. I brought a PowerPoint every single week with ongoing slides. And I literally just like add a new one each week and keep playing them so they could always see, even before the meeting started, what events did we have going on, what service projects could they be signing up for, what events were happening in the district. And I turned that on every day when I walked in and just let it play. So people always had you know, all the news right in front of them, pretty bright and colorful.
So it sounds like, Lisa, you actually did a lot of prep work for your year as club president well before the first 90 days.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the reasons why we have changed the format of pre-PELS, is we want the club president-elects to start thinking and planning and dreaming for their Rotary year starting now.
Actually, I think I did more work in the 6 months leading up to my presidency than I did during my actual president year.
Interesting. Very good. Janet, what about you?
So very similar to what Leslie and Lisa said, I wanted to connect with my members. What are their top priorities? What are their hot buttons? What interests them? So that I can get engaging speakers that they would look forward to coming to listen to and see and meet. We want service projects that our members enjoy because we want to have fun in Rotary. Like many of the clubs, we have a lot of older members. And so Adopt the Highway is difficult for them physically. So we find some other service events, such as the upcoming Rush Fall Fest. Last year, we helped park cars, and we have Rotarians that can't physically do that. So this year, we're going to help out the kids' craft table, a sit-down job under a tent, make sure, kids don't eat the paste or spill glitter or anything, and just help in that regard, but it gives them more sit-down jobs. I want to just connect with my members and see, is a project gone stale? Do we need to refresh it? Do we need to replace it? I want to know what's important to them to set up my entire year.
Love it. And Pamela, I'm going to put you on the spot because, obviously you've been a past club president as well. What would you like to add to the question about your first 90 days?
Yeah, well, again, having a theme. Mine was kindness to make sure everybody's a 4-way test, kindness. But really the best tool that we had was I made a 1-page sheet, and we were hybrid after COVID. So I put in, or during, oh goodness, during, I put in the link. It was like a 1-page info sheet for guests or regular members coming in. It had all the officers and their contact information. It had a link to our hybrid Zoom account. And it was just a summary, our history a little bit, when we were founded kind of thing. It was just a 1-page kind of take with you, and then you can always connect with us. So that was just really helpful. And if anybody needs that template, let me know, because I still have that. And that was one of the most helpful things. Can't even tell you how many times we used that, and I made sure I had copies at every meeting. And it really just helped us keep on track and have the resources right at our fingertips. So thanks for asking.
Yeah. So it sounds like a common theme is understanding your club members and setting a level playing field for everybody, knowing that people in your club have different abilities, different strengths, different interests. And now is the time as president-elect to start talking to people and seeing what keeps them in Rotary. The other question I wanted to ask goes to work-life balance. How did you manage to balance Rotary with your Rotary leadership, with your other responsibilities, be it life, family, work? And what advice would you give incoming president-elects or incoming presidents from your perspective? This time I'll start with Janet.
Sure. So I have a full-time job plus a part-time job, plus all my family commitments and other extracurriculars. I'm an athlete. I travel nationally and internationally for swimming competitions, plus Rotaries, plus. There's lots of things going on. So I make sure to respond to emails quickly. And if I have a follow-up question, follow up right away. We have cell phones, computers in our pockets. It's pretty easy to stay connected, and Club Runner on your phone is so easy to add contacts to save in your phone hard drive if you ever don't have Wi-Fi and can't get into Club Runner or something's blocking it. So to find that balance, it's responding quick before I forget. Also, my club members, they know I work full-time. And they're well aware, like we have many who are retired and then a number of us who still work. We actually have 4 women under 50 in our club. And it's a great group, and we all fall on each other. So one way is we have a lot of people tag team, I like to call it. We have 2 Rotarians that work on our Facebook page. One is working, one is retired. I said, as long as everything gets covered, the 2 of you figure it out. We have a car wash this Saturday, and there's 2 chairs. One kind of focuses on the tickets. The other focuses on like the setup and contact with the dealership where we'll have the car wash, so that they tag team, they work together. always find someone to support you, because they're always willing to support us, because as president, we support our committee chairs. So the best balance is just being on time and supporting everybody. It's not about me. It might be the year I am president, but I don't think of it as my year. I think of it as our club.
Exactly. Good answer. Pamela, what are your thoughts on that? How are you balancing everything? Or not?
Well, right now, there's a window where I'm not, but that should change. Really just prioritizing, again, we love Rotary, but family obviously comes first. And I live by that. But I make sure that when I sign up for something, that I follow through, because that's who I am. Even sometimes if if it kills me, but I'm learning about, self-care and balance, and I've made some life decisions recently that have freed me up. And sometimes that's what you need to do. Because, what does they say? Happy wife, happy life, or happy wife, happy, yeah, whatever. So happy, balance, and happy president. That's what I
Thank you. Leslie, what about you?
I just wrote down two things. Number one, keeping a very accurate calendar and remembering to check it. And that second part is my downfall sometimes, because I will look at my calendar to see what I missed instead of looking at my calendar to see what I have going the next day. So I really encourage people to make sure you're getting everything on your calendars, because it is so difficult to go back and try to figure out what you've missed. The other thing for me, and I think part of this also is my district secretary experience, and that is I have given myself a 20-minute time limit. And if I'm looking for an answer to something, whether it's on Club Runner or it's an RI question I have, and I'm looking for a resource, or I'm looking for a how-to guide, or I'm just looking for an answer, after 20 minutes of looking, if I haven't found the answer, I reach out to somebody. I have RI's 800 number in my phone. I'm really good friends with all of the support people at Club Runner. They don't know that, but they're all my very good friends. And, Ralph Brandt, I reach out to a lot. Our past district governor, I reach out to a lot of the past district governors. Because I don't have that kind of time to spend researching. As much as I love doing it, I don't have that kind of time. So after 20 minutes, no answer, and I reach out.
And I would like to add to that, as first-time club presidents, you may not know who to reach out to, but you always have either your assistant governor or area rep and your district governor team or district governor track. Pamela and I are always there as well. And if we don't know the answers, we will certainly find out for you. So you don't need to know everybody's name, just a handful of names for starters. And then, you'll develop your list of contacts from there. Lisa, what would you like to respond to the question?
Absolutely. So the balance was a little rough for me, and I'll tell you, it's because I kind of took this as an all or nothing kind of job, and I went in all pretty hard and fast. I learned a few lessons from that though, and I did dial it back along the way. I also work full time. I run my own business. I have multiple teenagers who fortunately were all away that year. My youngest was an exchange student. My oldest was in college, but parenting from afar apparently is just as hard as doing it when they're nearby. So a couple of things that I did to help with that balance. My club meets at noon on Thursdays, so I can't visit clients on Thursdays. So Thursday became my Rotary Day. That was the day I did all of my prep. That was the day, like I said, I did those presentations. They were all happening in the hour before the meeting. Or catching up with things. It's also the day after our board meeting, so it's always a day that I could get caught up on stuff. But I found out along with that really remembering that we're kind of like CEO of our club. We are not in charge of everything. We are oversight. So really using the resources within the club, every member in there, part of their engagement is being involved in your club activities and how it's running and moving along. So that's back where I'm back to, like, building strong committees, empowering our committee chairs, and regularly reaching out to people who know more than I do. I didn't want to keep recreating the wheel. There's people there who had great ideas, who hadn't had a voice before. There's people there who had a lot of experience to tap into. So I really spent a lot of time getting to know my members and their strengths and asking them to help for a lot. And I really feel like we were a very energized group because so many people had a stake in what we were doing because they were helping. Really spreading out that responsibility was, I think, really key to the energy we had in our club that year.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Can I just give a real life, this happened last night experience?
Sure.
I got to we had a 6 o'clock potluck dinner meeting, which we do once a month. And I got there a little bit late. I had a bunch of stuff to set up, and we had a new exchange student who was visiting our club for the first time. We had a speaker, Jeff Fabany from the Rock City Rotary Club, who of course came a half an hour early, and I didn't want him just sitting around. So I just started delegating. I didn't try to get all the setup done by myself. I asked somebody to create a chart for me. I asked actually Jeff and our exchange student to put together a new lottery spinning wheel that I had purchased. And so they worked together on that. I had somebody else passing out pens and Post-its to each of the tables. So I think, really, you can't do it all yourself. And I think Lisa said that, Janet said that, Pamela said that, you really have to let people help you. Encourage people to offer, but also delegate.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to our next topic, I want to check in with each of you to see if you have any questions or, has this discussion brought up any thoughts that you want to share with the group. Feel free to raise your hand or put it in chat, but this is, like I said, supposed to be interactive. Okay. With nothing, I thought for sure, Christine, you were going to have something to say, but I won't put you on the hot seat. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is Club Runner. And I'm hoping that all of you are at least familiar with how to log on to Club Runner. If not, that'll be a side conversation and we can let you know who to reach out to. But I want to ask the panelists, what do you find are the key features of Club Runner that are necessary for day-to-day club operations? Anyone want to start?
Email.
First.
Email?
I mean, seriously, I use it every single day. And sometimes I use my own club's account if I'm only using Club Runner, emailing within my club, and then other times I'll use the district webpage and use those email services if I need to include other people. But there's definitely a lot to know about email in terms of creating distribution lists. And you can also put in prospective members, so people don't have to be a member of Rotary in order to be on a distribution list, which I found to be a really wonderful option. But every single day.
Perfect. Now, does your club have the basic Club Runner, or have you invested in the advanced version for clubs? Do you know?
That's a really good question. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I just know we have our own club's account.
Okay.
But I will look into that, Lisa, because I'm not sure.
Well, and I asked the question because our districts purchase a basic level Club Runner for all of our clubs. But above and beyond that, individual clubs have the opportunity to purchase an add-on package that gets you a lot more features.
Right.
So I always like to know which clubs have what. Lisa, it
Right.
looks like you had something to say on that topic.
And just along the same thing, I mean, I'm sure that Club Runner does offer a lot of those services, but for clubs like mine that only have access to the district version of it, we don't have access to build our own websites there. We don't have access to the email. We don't have access to the event management or the calendars. So for clubs like that, Club Runner is just the source to manage your membership database. Which is equally and remarkably important for your club to move strongly. So even if your club isn't using Club Runner for all of the good it can do, it is still something that you need to get your hands into at a minimum, just to know that your club is, that your members are up to date, that you're getting billed correctly, that your directory is up to date, especially now that we all have access to the Club Runner app, and I hope every one of you has it on your phone. For the next member that says to you, it's been a long time since we've printed a directory, we don't need it anymore. We have an app that gives us the entire district directory in our pocket, as well as most of the information that's on our district website. So you should all have that on your phones. And I do think that a lot of the Club Runner functions are really things that our secretaries need to be up on as well. So if you have a club secretary that's not accessing their Club Runner properly, that is a spot to consider strengthening.
I would second that, absolutely. Pamela, what about you? What do you use Club Runner for?
Well, since now that we have more bells and whistles, it's been really helpful because in the past you just anonymously email a president and wait for a response. So now I can actually see the email address. And I know with grants, it's really important to get our goals in for our district. It's required. We can't qualify for district grants unless we have our goals in, which is, a nice nudge because I think it's really important. How can we know where we're going if we don't, write down our SMART, our SMART goals? So really I think I'm in it like quite frequently for some reason or other, just, to get information, resources, and to, do my Rotary thing. So
Perfect.
embrace it. You can't hurt it.
And what about you, Janet? Does your club use Club Runner? Oh, hold on a second, Janet. Leslie?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that president goals are in my Rotary, in the Rotary Club Central, not in Club Runner.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Club
I
Runner
get them
only-
mixed up.
That's okay. I just wanted to be sure people knew
Yeah,
that
thank
because
you.
one of the points that Lisa and I have tried to make over the last couple of years is you shouldn't be altering any member information in my Rotary because RI has a tougher time syncing to Club Runner. It syncs the other way around. So if you're going to make any member changes or additions or, club information changes, that should all happen in Club Runner. Right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They do sync both ways now, but it's definitely smoother if everything is coming
Yes.
from the point of truth.
Right.
Alan, you've got your hand raised?
You're
Yeah.
on mute though.
Yes, can someone explain a little bit more about what the add-on package gives you and what the cost is?
The cost, I'm actually on their website right now. The cost depends on the size of your club. How big is your club?
35 members.
So for 35 members, only because I'm just happen to be peeking here, it's about, for the standard package, not the light version, but the actual standard one with all the full version, it's about $42 a month and a $200 setup fee.
Okay,
And at clubrunner.com, it's really easy to navigate to see all this information.
I think my club, we have a little fewer than 30 people and we pay about $450 a year. And I believe you're billed annually. You're not billed monthly unless you have an option to do that I'm not aware of.
and what does that give you in addition to the standard?
All right, hold on. The standard features are, dun, dun, dun. The website designer, member directory, email and communication, event calendars, volunteer management, reporting, dues and billing, an attendance manager, integration with RI, committee management, and a contacts module. Optionally, you can also add on a barcode scanner, online payments, event runner, enhanced volunteer and committee items.
So
That answers the question from before. I have a basic. Our club has the basic, and it works for us. So
my club made the decision to get the add-on because we didn't want to pay someone to create our own website. So it was worth it to do the website, and then all the other things that came with it in terms of communication and database management have been very useful and worthwhile. Lizzie.
Yeah, I just want to share a couple things. I have quite a bit of experience with Club Runner, and just shares a little bit of language change if we could. It's not an add-on, it's a club account.
Okay.
Just so if people are looking it up, they're clear this isn't any kind of upgrade for you. This is just establishing a Club Runner account as opposed to using the district one that everyone has access to.
Right.
Yes, and in addition to all those great tools that Lisa listed that comes with having your own account for your club, they are preparing, I think later this year, if not early next, to launch a whole new update to Club Runner called Nova. And there will be additional tools. And it's almost like if anyone uses a CRM or Salesforce for your work, it's almost going to be like that. So you can put people into your Club Runner that are prospective members and then follow them through the membership recruitment process. Get them added into receive your newsletter, follow along if they're opening the emails and engaging. There's going to be a lot more opportunity to use it for membership recruitment. So there's exciting things on the horizon.
So
Great. It's definitely a valuable tool if your club can afford it.
Exactly.
Especially now that it has a dues and billing feature in there, which it did not a few years ago.
Well, and the new cloud events, which are not extra cost to use, you can receive payments for people to sign up for your events. That has transformed our polio fundraiser because we can pre-sell tickets to people and then we've got the money whether they show up or not, right? So that's been a huge feature for us. And at CNY, we use it all the time for all of our event registration. That used to cost extra to set up events with payment like that, and now it's free. So they're always looking out for us.
I think it's fair to note, though, that if your club doesn't have the full version of Club Runner, there are other tools available that will get you the same thing. I know, like my club uses an online platform called Event Groove, which used to be part of our district before, but we got our own club account. Again, it's free, and we can use it to sell tickets and run events and get payments online. And we use it for all of our fundraisers. We don't deal in cash anymore. So if your club can't make the change to Club Runner, just know that there are other tools out there that you can mix and match as well, even though it might not be as streamlined as having a single tool.
Absolutely.
So.
And to plug Club Runner a little bit more, they have some wonderful training videos. So if all of this sounds like a different language to you right now, take the time to go to the Club Runner website and look at some of their training videos.
And the how-to guides as well.
Yeah, their support is exceptional.
By step guides.
Yep.
Even if you ever have to call them, they are amazing.
They're wonderful and very responsive, very quick response.
Absolutely. Janet, without killing the bird, do you want to add anything, one last minute comments to that question?
Sure. So we have the club version and we love it. Our 80-something-year-old secretary has become a pro. And we want more members to better utilize it. And so actually Leslie came and presented to our club to give them an overview of how to use email and a few other features. I send an email once a week as a reminder of the meeting because we alternate morning and evening at 2 different venues. So a reminder of that week, it's which time slot, which venue, who the speaker is. Then I add a long list of everything that's coming up, a reminder to sell your car wash tickets. We have our Quad Cities dinner coming up and the Rush Fall Fest. Then I have another list that says other happenings of everything. We've had so many speakers come in. We want to stay involved and stay connected. I have a long list of upcoming events. So it's a way to constantly communicate. And I encourage my members, like the committee chairs, to also use the email feature to send reminders. When we set the date for the car wash, they logged in and added it to the district calendar. Club Runner is very useful. Definitely take the time to learn it. My Rotary is also a great videos, great learning center that's great to use. It's a rabbit hole. There's so much you can learn in there. So careful. But yeah, I'm so impressed with all of these tools we have access to.
Gotcha. Yes, Christine. Woohoo.
Is what you were just, can you hear me?
Yep.
What you were just talking about, is that on the regular Club Runner, or is that on that upgrade, so to speak, with emails and things like that?
Yeah,
Chatting.
again, it's not an upgrade.
Yeah.
It's just whether you use the district site or do you have your own
Club.
account
Okay,
for your
so-
club.
But on the district one, would it have those bells and whistles of the email thing, or is that the other one?
No, you have to have your own club account in order to use it to email your members. The
Right,
district one is what the district uses to email all of you. So
Right.
yeah, got to have your own for that.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions about Club Runner or tips or things that, favorite things that you guys are already using on Club Runner that anyone, not just that the panelists, want to share with us? Okay.
If I
Lisa,
can just,
I have a
I
quick
just-
tip if no one else does.
Okay, thank you, Lizzie.
Yeah, sure. So one thing that's really important to keep updated for your clubs in Club Runner is your club information. The when and where you meet. We know that's changing a lot more often these days than it ever used to. And included in the club information, you can have a logo. It's really encouraged that you use your custom club logo from the brand center for that space, not any kind of theme logo or anything like that's not evergreen. So consider making your club logo in the brand center and popping that in there, and just always updating in Club Runner when and where you meet in that club information, because that's what gets pulled onto the district site and the rotary.org site. So putting it in Club Runner is how the rest of the world is going to be able to find you.
And also,
I can-
please update your officers. Make sure they're up to date and as far down the pipeline as you can get. Leslie, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say also show your members how to update their member profiles. Because if their email changes, if they're somehow a setting gets changed and they're not receiving emails anymore or anything like that, it's so much easier if they can go in and make those changes themselves. They can also set any kind of designations that they've had throughout their history in Rotary, so they can jot down that they can click on the fact that they've been a past president, that they're a Paul Harris Fellow, that maybe they're a benefactor. They can, all of that stuff can be in their member profile. I can't tell you as district secretary how many emails I get from people, from members saying, my email changed. Can you please update it in Club Runner? And I say, well, I could, but I've attached a how-to guide for you so that you can make the change yourself. And if you have any problems, please contact me.
Lisa.
They can actually, if they have the app, they don't even need to get into the district website. They can edit their own profile right from the app,
Right.
which is not any harder than updating your Facebook or your LinkedIn or anything else that you pay for.
So very good. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all those tips and feedback. The next topic that we're going to talk about is, we mentioned earlier that we're trying to expand your training for district governor-elect, oh my God, president-elect from, 3 months to almost a year. And the reason we want to do that is we want to encourage you to work with your current club president right now to get an understanding of what they're doing, what their expectations are, how you can help, how you can learn from them. So I want to ask each of our panelists, when you became, president-elect, how did you transition effectively with your predecessor? And what sort of key questions should you be asking, you as a president-elect, of your current president? Let's start with Pamela.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, like I said, I've been in the same club for 10 years, so it was, it was really an easy connection. And I had felt like, I guess people don't always volunteer to be president. I think that's sometimes you need to be asked and nudged, but for some reason I just got it in my brain. It was time. So I reached out to my mentor, which he was a past district governor also. And he encouraged me, and he did mention that. He said, get really close with the current president and the immediate past president, and pick their brain and have them help you with the ins and outs and the culture of the club, and to really plan and really look at your goals and make it smooth, so it's not, my year, everything's changing. We're just, building on a really good, successful club by working together.
Thank you very much. Lisa, I see you shaking your head.
No, I wasn't. I was just agreeing.
Yeah, no. You're shaking your head agreeing with Pamela. Is there anything that you would like to add from your transition to president-elect?
Sure. I spent quite a bit of time doing having conversations and meetings with the sitting president and myself and the president who was identified that was coming after me, so that we could really get on board with this concept of moving away from my year. I hate that term. It makes my skin crawl. But really looking at like the good of the club and not the good of the president. So looking at, what was our club doing? Where was it headed? What kind of initiatives were the sitting president getting in place that I was going to have to pick up as I move forward? I was working on a pretty significant signature project as I came into office, and making sure that, because it was really committing our club to many future years of commitment, and I'm making sure that the presidents coming in behind me were also on board with all of this and we're ready to pick up and continue with that whole concept. Rotary is so much bigger than any one person. And I think that we're all stewards of that gavel for 12 months, but it's really just our job to help the club itself thrive and move forward. And I think it's important to recognize that fundraisers might cross over from one year to another. A project could cross multiple years. And it's just our job to help keep it strong and supported, and not about us taking credit for what I accomplished in my 12-month time. So really having a lot of planning and, making sure that we were all following the same strategic plan. I mean, and this all goes back with like goal setting and planning, and which is a whole separate thing we could get into, but communication and involving our members in this process too. Anything that we were committing to, we were committing the whole club to. So getting a lot of input from the membership before we made plans that were going to span, more than 1 year.
And Janet, I know that you're a two-peat or even a three-peat club president. What advice or comments do you have on this?
So in a club of 23 members, a lot of people have been president once or even twice. So some people who were even president 20, 30 years ago, they kept a handwritten notes or a Word document of things that they did as sergeant at arms, vice president, president-elect, president, and sent it to me to make sure I could support the president when I was president-elect. And then when I was president, ideas and things to do and suggestions if I want to lean on anyone and delegate anything. For the president right before me, because of her work schedule, she was rarely able to make the morning meetings. So I would chair those as president-elect. So it was kind of like dabbling into how I would run a meeting, just learning how our morning meetings are run. For those of you who don't know, I don't like to drive. So when I go to district events, I often ride with another Rotarian. And so my first year in 7120, we went to, it was probably Julie Carney's president-elect year, and it was done like a trade show. I don't recall which event it was, but it was great. So one of our Rotarians who had been president before and a Rotarian for years introduced me to many people in our district, get to know the people, and then went to Ralph Brandt's district conference. It was the circus. And again, met more people that I hadn't met yet to really set me up. So it's kind of delegating and getting help from past presidents, not just the one before me, to meet people and learn how things work. I didn't even know what a vocal competition was until I came to 7120. Just amazing things that I've learned. So ask questions.
Yeah.
It never hurts. So people from my club and other clubs, district events are amazing. Yes, for networking and to share ideas. So I really enjoy leaning on any of the past presidents, not just the one before me, because I also don't want to put a lot on them as they're enjoying like their first retirement year from president.
Correct. What about you, Leslie?
Well, I'm going to relate this for a moment to teaching, because one of the beauties of teaching is that you get to end a year, take a little bit of time to reflect and plan and start a brand new year. And the things you did the year before, you don't necessarily have to keep doing the next year. If they didn't work, you change them. It's very different in Rotary because there's a continuity in our clubs that we want to maintain, and I think the other three have spoken to this, to some degree. So, check in with your current president on any unfinished actions, or was there anything that president really wanted to do or start or accomplish, and is there a way that you might be able to help them still do that? Because I know the first question I asked after the end of my first president year was, can I do it again? Because now I know what I'm doing. Now I'm like really excited because I know, what the capacity is. And I didn't really feel that the first time because it was all very new. I don't know if this is a standard thing, but our immediate past president, our vice president, and our president-elect are all part of our board. So they all know what's going on. And they know the current actions, they know what happened last year, that, it's that continuity again that's so important. I will tell you that the person in my club who did not succeed, and in fact resigned from the club while she was in the president track, and I believe I don't remember if she was I think she was president-elect, but it was early on in her president-elect year. And she was just planning to kind of upend everything and flip everything on its head and do everything differently. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but she wasn't sharing any of those ideas with the board. She wasn't communicating that. She kind of had her vice president, so, her next in line, they were having these conversations, but they weren't including anybody else on the board or in the club. And I think that was
Mistake.
her demise in a way, with, that's kind of strong language, but she just, it's not like it's your year. And I know Lisa said that, and Pamela said that it's still the club. You just happen to be the person coming over and kind of taking over the helm. I like the way Lisa said it with being the CEO. You're kind of the overseer of things and helping to, get things going. But, you don't want to flip things on their heads.
Without the support of everybody in your club.
Right.
I would be curious to ask the president-elects that are on the line to share with us what your relationship right now is with your current club president. Do you feel that it's strong? Could it be improved? What have you been asked to do? And I'm going to actually put my club mate on on alert and ask Kat to start that off to talk about what is your relationship as president-elect with our current club president, and is it working? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm muted. Yeah, the nice part is that our club is you know, a good portion of us are friends. And that I think that's a integral piece of management is that I'm not afraid to communicate with the president right now, and she's not afraid to communicate with us. Now, the thing is, I have noticed that I had to talk her down off the ledge at one point this summer because she felt like she had to do everything. And it's like, no, you have a job, you have a partner, you have a house, you have whatever you have going on in your life, and you can't possibly do everything. So don't set that expectation.
Right.
You know, like Janet has said a number of times, delegation. And ask other people to help you, that you don't have to do it all yourself.
And also, as a president-elect, you felt empowered enough to go to your president and say, hey, let me take some things off of your plate. Let me step up. Because there's always ebb and flows to life and responsibilities. And you're right, sometimes you just can't do everything that you have planned. But if you look at this as a team of leaders that you're working with, this will be the year that you can step in and take things off of your president's plate as needed.
The nice part is that we've had a number of Zoom meetings, privately, just like with the past president, myself, and the current president, maybe a couple other board members, but just to kind of almost like a weekly Zoom to kind of keep each other on track of what's going on.
Perfect.
So that's helpful too. And, we don't have to meet in person. It's easier sometimes to just get on the computer and have a meeting that way.
Right, exactly. Anyone else want to add what their experience has been like so far this year? Go for it, Christine.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
One of the benefits I have with our current president is he has been around since Rotary began. So I'm sure many of you know Mark Wise. So he's just a plethora of information, and what he's done in the last year or so has kind of just taken me by the hand and is bringing me along. And he got me into the youth exchange program, which this whole week we really got to work very well together with. Yes. And what it's done is I'm not calling it my year for next year. I'm calling it my platform. And one of the things I would like for my platform is to push youth with Rotaract or Interact in our high school and the youth exchange and get more involved. And I was kidding him. I said I needed a name tag, and he's like, get it from Youth Exchange. You're joining their board. But he's definitely, he's my neighbor. I've known him for a while, but he has so much information, so much contact, and he'll tell me without even my asking what is best and what is good. So, we've talked about the future and how we're going to switch roles. And like I said, I was until yesterday the YEO, but now he's the youth exchange counselor. So we've been working on that as well. So that's given us a good opportunity to deal with a club issue where I had to step up, not just as his president-elect, but as the YEO. So it's a baptism by fire, or you're building the plane as you're flying it. Are those the two phrases that have been used a lot? But knowing that you have people right behind you to catch you is what helps. And it's also nice. This is like a wonderful thing. And, of course, I got a Southwest in the house at least once.
You are too much.
And then the experiences, like Janet was talking about the district learning, those are phenomenal. The district conference last year was so much fun. and it's not the competitive. Like I followed Mark around, like I said, like a child, like, okay, introduce me, introduce me, introduce me.
So he handed you off to me, and then I was the.
And then we handed off to the margarita man. I don't know. But we have fun. And I think that's the best thing is that, let your president-elect lead you. Or, I mean, your president lead you down the path of meeting people and interacting. And then it's not just him or that person you're asking questions of. And that's been my experience with Mark. And I also found I don't come to meetings late because that's how I ended up in this position of president-elect. Like, congratulations. So I mean, the main thing is, like I said, is shadow. That's the best way you're going to learn and follow everybody you meet and talk to them and connect with them every way you can. So
Thank you, Christine.
welcome.
Alan, Ken, Dwight, or Murray, do you want to have anything to add? Are there any things that are scaring you to death at this moment that we might be able to help you with? Alan, yes, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, the new president that we have this year is about as new as I am. I've been there 3 years and he's been there 4 years, so we're learning together. Our past president, though, has been very helpful. He's been a veteran of Rotarian, and I'm very close to him, and I found a lot of help coming from him. But the thing I find more helpful than anything is the leadership courses that are available. I find them extremely well done. I've learned a lot from them, and I feel much more confident in taking those courses and being able to take over come July.
These are the Rotary Learning Center courses?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, good. That's good to know, because that's something also that we're trying this year is encouraging president-elects to take those classes, well in advance of the time before they become president. So thank you for that feedback.
Yeah, I'm surprised that if we only have 14 participants here and taking the courses such as this are mandatory, then I don't understand why we don't have 45 or 50 members listening right now.
Well, we had 45 or so last night.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and because this is a change, we're trying, people have to adjust to what we're trying to do. So we have a plan to reach out to the folks that didn't register for either session, and get them on board. And, hopefully, with each passing month, we'll see more and more folks that are going to be joining us. But I think for the very first time, for the very first month, this has been a huge boost to, Pamela and my, thought process. We have just a few minutes. Dwight, did I see that you have a hand up, or you're off of mute?
I don't know how to put my hand up. I don't see a hand on my screen.
That's right. You can always just raise it in front of your face, but taking yourself off of mute also worked.
I took it off myself off mute. I am not a president-elect.
Okay.
I'm actually a second non-consecutive term president, but I'm still very new to the Rotary system. And Murray is my president-elect, and I'd be interesting. We really haven't done anything together, so I'd really like to know how I can help you, Murray. Obviously, I'm here today supporting you and also learning more about being president by being here. I got into it a few years ago. I came in, and in less than a couple of months, maybe 3, I found myself in the president-elect position just before the training in Syracuse. So I'm still learning. I was lucky enough to, my first president-elect was my wife, so we could talk about things. She's much better president than I am, Murray. So anything you need to know, you can ask me and I'll ask her.
Thank you very much. I think it's great that you took the initiative to join us, because now you're hearing the same thing, and hopefully you and Murray can tag team and talk about what you've heard here and then plan for the next couple of sessions.
I find this very, very good feedback. Wish I'd had it 2 years ago.
Yay. Well, that may be something for the rest of the president-elects to hear, that maybe you might want to invite your current president to attend the next couple of sessions with you. and see if that helps with the transition as well. We're all about, not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but making things better, leaving Rotary a little bit better than we found it. And this is, my effort to do that with President-elect. So feedback, ideas, thoughts, anything is going to be welcomed. Ken, I see you patiently waiting with your hand up.
Yes. What we did is the current president, myself, and then the current vice president, we met prior to the current president's year, so we could have a continuity plan for the next 3 years.
Oh, I
So
love it.
if the current president starts an initiative, we can continue that in consecutive years, whether it's with the school districts or other community events. And we have many past presidents on the in the meetings. Plus, we have a couple of past district governors, so I can always reach out to them for information or just a how did you do this type thing. So we have a good relationship, and everybody in the Glenville Club is very helpful on helping the new leaders, especially those of us that are doing this or will be the president for the first time. Mine is next year. But so that's just how we've looked at it, and it just keeps the continuity of the goals that we have and the programs we want to do moving forward.
Thank you for that, because it triggered a reminder that Rotary is moving towards setting 3-year rolling goals. So this will be the first kickoff to that. So you'll be able to come in with your background and begin to set goals for the next 3 years, not just for your year. And eventually we will have goals for 3 years moving forward. And I think that's going to be a topic at one of our future sessions. So hold that thought, and we'll cover it at that point in time. The only folks we haven't heard from are Wanda and Katie. Oh, Katie has her hand up. She knew I was going to call on her. Yes, Miss Katie.
I'm never this quiet, so
I know.
I couldn't go away without saying something, introducing myself. And I apologize because I'm also in my office. So as much as you can close the door, you're never really fully off, which I think, plays in a big part. I know I was appreciating what Lisa was saying as a, working mother and still trying to accommodate our service above self initiative and, creating that to our club members too. So I'm really excited as president-elect coming into it. And through our club, I think we have a long history of active presidents who have, initiated change. I love the 3-year model, and going to the one Rotary Summit over the weekend, it was really great to hear everybody's action plans and to be able to kind of come off of that into our board meeting, where we're very focused on our bylaws, our action plans, so that each president is set for success. And I think it's just myself immersing it into it, especially in these little snippets of time. So I think that this is really great. Door closed aside and in my office, but looking forward to learning from all of you and appreciate you on the panel. So
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wanda, any last words before we close off?
Absolutely. I'd just like to say thank you for this meeting, because I'm a brand new member into the Gananda Rotary, even though, I've lived here for a very, very long time. And I know several people that are on the board, but I was running my own business and wasn't able to become a member because of the constraint of my business. So now that I'm retired, I'm able to pitch in and help. So it's nice to hear. I've taken a lot of notes from today, because I know I do plan on getting a hold of my president, working closely with him this year, so I can continue what he wants to do going forward. I don't want to step in and make everything new. That's not our purpose. It's, I definitely want to make things better, like you're saying, and getting to know more people and do more things. So this meeting has been great as a introduction for me, and I look forward to meeting more of you face to face as we do more conferences and summits and all these other things that we're going to.
Thank you very much. That's a great way to close us out. We are a team, we're a team of
Yes.
president-elects for District 7120 and 7180. And let's work together. Let's share ideas. Let's collaborate because that's going to make the work a lot easier. So I appreciate everybody coming today. I appreciate everybody pitching in and commenting, even if you didn't think you had anything to say. We've got several more of these coming up. Encourage people that aren't here that you know of who are president-elects or even your own president to come to the next session, which is October 15th and 16th. Yes, 15th and 16th. So you're going to get an email relatively soon asking you to sign up for that one. And I'm going to see if either Pamela or Lizzie have any final words before we end the session today.
No, just thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it. And thank you for our panelists that help us get the discussion going. We can't do it without you, and appreciate everybody sharing.
Lizzie?
Just appreciate everybody's engagement today. I think everyone got a lot of good takeaways here, and it was a great kickoff to your pre-PELS. So congrats to you, Lisa and Pamela, for putting this together for everybody.
Thank you so much. So we will say goodbye until next time. Have a great couple of weeks and let us know if you have any questions or something doesn't make sense. We will be as responsive to you as we can. Take care and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Christine. Bye, Kat.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.